In recent months, SpaceX has faced strong criticism for employing reckless launch practices during the Starship's inaugural test flight. After a turbulent liftoff that damaged the launch pad and surrounding area, many questions were raised about the safety and environmental impact of the craft. Since then, SpaceX has worked tirelessly to make several game-changing improvements that will not only shield the Starship's 33 Raptor engines, but also minimize the damage caused to the surrounding area. But the question remains, are these improvements enough for the Starship to achieve orbit? Let's find out. After analyzing data from the Starship's first test flight, SpaceX has come up with a new technique to deal with the ignition of its 33 engines. SpaceX believes in learning from failures to achieve success, and the company believes this new approach will significantly reduce the risk of failure for Starship. During the first test flight on April 20th, the absence of clamps and the slow throttle-up caused Starship to remain on the launch pad for an extended period. This led to debris, such as concrete, rocks, and sand, being thrown in all directions, damaging the nearby facilities and Starship itself. This clamping mechanism has been used on rockets such as the Saturn V in the past. They would keep the rocket in place for a few seconds while it powered up, and then the clamps would release. However, SpaceX took a different approach. They released the clamps even before the countdown started and gradually increased the rocket's power while it remained on the pad. This is why it took Starship, which had twice the power of a Saturn V, nearly twice as long to clear the tower. The rocket just sat there for a much longer time, vigorously blasting away at the ground. This was part of their plan, but it also contributed to the failure of the flight. By the time Starship left the pad, debris had already damaged 3 of its engines and likely affected valves and systems, leading to more engine failures and an incorrect fuel mixture. During the flight, Starship experienced delays in reaching each milestone of the planned trajectory. This indicated that the remaining engines were unable to compensate for the lost engines during the expected stage separation. This could be due to either software errors or additional damage to the hardware, which caused the main booster to continue firing longer than it should have. As a result, Starship entered an uncontrolled spin, making it necessary to destroy the spacecraft. Based on these failures, SpaceX has promptly devised 2 primary solutions for the future of Starship. The first solution involves making changes to the final moments of the countdown. During the initial launch, Starship ignited its engines gradually over 5 to 6 seconds. Elon Musk stated that for the upcoming launch of Booster 9, this ignition sequence will be reduced by approximately 50%, down to around 2.5 seconds before the vehicle takes off. Musk further explained that for the next flight, they will certainly initiate the takeoff more quickly. In the previous flight, they erred on the side of caution by gently starting each engine one at a time. But now they plan to be more assertive. One crucial solution SpaceX has identified is the implementation of a water-jacketed sandwich system, also known as the Deluge system. In fact, SpaceX had already transported the necessary Deluge hardware from Florida to Starbase in January. However, they decided to proceed with the flight before completing its installation. In truth, most rockets utilize some form of deluge system to safeguard themselves and their surroundings from the damaging effects of their exhaust. This system involves spraying a large volume of water into the space just below the rocket's engines, which effectively mitigates the immense acoustic energy or sound they generate, preventing havoc. Moreover, the deluge system also plays a role in protecting the launch pad hardware. By allowing some of the energy in the exhaust to vaporize water, it prevents the exhaust from eroding the concrete or steel structures. Interestingly, Musk had famously expressed SpaceX's goal of constructing an orbital launch site for Starship that does not require a flame diverter. The flame diverter is a structure used to redirect exhaust gases away from the launch pad during liftoff. However, this aspiration has encountered challenges until last month. Considering the circumstances, certain necessary measures need to be implemented to address these issues. Currently, SpaceX has made some notable progress in developing the transpirational steel plate system that will be installed beneath the Starship's engine. From the images captured at the site, the supply pipes and manifolds have been carefully measured and accurately modeled. In simple terms, this system involves a plenum, which is a space filled with water and contains numerous holes. The water within the plenum is pressurized to a level that ensures water flows out of the holes, even when subjected to the pressure of the exhaust gases. So on one side, you have a flow of water, and on the other side, you have the flow of extremely hot exhaust gases. Due to the temperature difference, a gradient is established between the two. However, except at the center, there will be a radial flow of steam that blows the exhaust gases away from the steel plate. In the center, the water pressure is higher than the pressure of the exhaust gases. These exhaust gases never come into direct contact with the steel plate. At worst, they are exposed to steam generated by the high-pressure water, which provides an effective barrier. SpaceX's task is to ensure that the water flow remains at a high enough rate to keep the temperature of the steel plate below 1,000 degrees Celsius, and that the water does not boil until it exits the plenum. As long as these conditions are met, the plate will function effectively. In reality, the plate typically experiences temperatures of only a few hundred degrees Celsius. Once the water is no longer in contact with the plate, it does not matter how hot it becomes. It is important to note that SpaceX has extensive experience dealing with combustion chamber walls that are exposed to much higher temperatures and pressures, nearly reaching the point of melting. They are well versed in analyzing heat flow. If there are any concerns, it is not about the exhaust damaging the plate. Instead, the main concern is the potential for turbulence and unstable behavior that could impact the engines. This could result in a significant wall of steam exiting the launch platform. While it may not be as solid as flying concrete, it still has the potential to cause considerable damage. But, like most other designs by SpaceX, there may be room for improvement and fine-tuning in the implementation details. However, this approach allows the company to work towards developing a launch system that can be easily replicated. This is crucial because SpaceX aims to play a significant role in NASA's Artemis moon landing program, in addition to leveraging it to generate revenue by offering hardware and services to other customers. Ensuring the reliability and scalability of their technology is essential for their long-term success and sustainability. It has been several weeks since the first orbital launch of Starship, and while SpaceX has not provided detailed information about the mission, one thing is clear. The Starbase team has demonstrated remarkable dedication to improving the launch pad. Within a few days of the launch pad being damaged, the Starbase team began excavating the area beneath the orbital launch mount to accommodate the new water-cooled steel plate. They completely dismantled the previous pipeline system, which spanned over 100 feet in length. Recently, the rebar cages for the foundation were taken apart, indicating that the piles have been reinforced for increased strength. Extensive excavation work has been conducted around the orbital launch mount, accompanied by the installation of sheet piles throughout the ground. The sheet piles play a crucial role in ensuring the safety of the excavation process by preventing potential collapses. They provide additional strength and support, establishing a stable foundation for the placement of rebar and the future installation of water pipes. Notably, significant progress has been made on the Orbital Launch Mount, ONM, in recent weeks. The protective PAL caps have been removed, and the compression ring has been cut all the way around, revealing the underlying rebar structure. Additionally, dewatering pipes have been added, and drilling is taking place around the site's perimeter to facilitate water removal. From observations, it is evident that the structures on the beach side are strategically positioned in front of the underground cryo lines. This placement likely aims to prevent any undermining effects, particularly considering the proximity of a nearby road. Furthermore, the starting grade of the construction site appears to be relatively shallow, which may eliminate the need for a traditional perimeter wall. This showcases a thoughtful and efficient design approach. The SpaceX team is diligently working on various plans for the future. They have already made significant progress in implementing the water deluge system for Ship 25 and Booster 9 firing. While the orbital launch tower required minimal repairs, the tank farm has been undergoing repairs, and the shells are showing promising results. Elon Musk has shared plans to replace the existing tanks at the launch pad with horizontal, hot dog-shaped tanks. This design will offer improved protection against debris from the launch pad. Last year, the vertical tanks, originally intended for storing liquid methane, were replaced with horizontal tanks that were better suited for their purpose. In May 2023, a few weeks after retiring from NASA, Kathy Lueders, the former head of human spaceflight, joined SpaceX to oversee operations at Starbase. This addition aims to provide government customers with confidence and assurance that Starship is a tangible project around which they can base their plans and operations. That being said, the craft first needs to prove that it can indeed carry and return humans from orbit safely. But how long will it take for the craft to pass these safety standards? No one knows for sure. What do you think? Does SpaceX need to face tighter regulations to ensure safety? Please share your thoughts in the comments below.